What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, January 12th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 23:15 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Europe. So we're hearing from Russian sources that there's a massive movement of NATO military hardware into Poland. So apparently eyewitnesses are reporting extensive movement of NATO equipment in Poland, described as large scale. Videos and observations include columns of trucks transporting American Max Pro armored personnel carriers, equipment observed on the Warsaw Bypass Road and Krakow Highway, with connections to Rzeszów, a key transport hub for Western arms deliveries to Ukraine. Reports of lowboys transporting tanks toward Kaliningrad through Poland. 2 American ships carrying weapons reportedly arrived in Gdańsk, with transported equipment spotted on Polish roads. So this is very concerning, guys. Okay, massive movement of NATO equipment in Poland. Low boys, those are low trailers with tanks moving towards the border of Russia in Poland. Okay, that's in northern Poland along the border with Kaliningrad, and also various types of armored personnel carriers being seen in the northern city of Gdansk, or Gdańsk as it's said in Polish, where all this equipment is being unloaded and then it's being moved throughout the country. Okay, equipment observed on the Warsaw Bypass Road and the Krakow Highway. So this is very, very serious. And also we're hearing from Der Spiegel, which is a German news outlet, that Germany is now supercharging its preparations for war with Russia. We're hearing that in the event of war, the territorial defense of Germany must protect ports, railway facilities, and freight transfer points, as well as pipelines and roads for troop transport, bridges, transport hubs, and digital infrastructure. The German Defense Ministry is also preparing to reinstate conscription for all men. Okay, so Germany is considering reinstating mandatory military service for all men. Okay, unless you have some kind of a special exemption. That is absolutely huge, and that's probably the first time in decades that Germany has had mandatory military service, if that happens. Okay, and then they're preparing to protect ports and train facilities and freight transfer points, basically infrastructure, okay, because Germany is a hub for NATO. They have a lot of ports there, and there's a lot of American bases there. Actually, the largest American base outside of the United States is actually in Germany. It's in Ramstein, okay? So Germany is supercharging their preparations. And we have some very concerning news coming out of the southern border here in the United States. The Border Patrol arrested a Russian mercenary affiliated with the Wagner Group. Okay, if you remember, the Wagner Group was the military contracting organization that was fighting against the Ukrainian military in Bakhmut, led by Prigozhin. Well, this guy had $4,000, 2 passports, one from Kazakhstan, one from Russia, and he was carrying a drone in his backpack, and his name is Timur Praliev. He was arrested. Okay, apparently he was in possession of a drone. He waded across the Rio Grande River and entered into Texas near the town of Roma. Okay, he did have criminal charges filed against him, okay, but he was a citizen and national of Kazakhstan, and he was also carrying a Russian passport. and $4,000 in cash and 60,000 pesos plus the drone in his backpack. Guys, how sketchy is that? Okay, when he was arrested and interviewed, he admitted to being a member of the Wagner group. Okay, so Russia is now sending infiltrators to infiltrate our country, okay, illegally crossing our borders, sneaking into our country, and who knows, what their jobs are, okay, to collect information about sensitive sites, to function as sleeper cells where they can just be activated and they can attack different targets. And this update was sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithNYPrepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. They're selling their 3-month emergency food supply for just $600, so that's $100 off the normal price. And this is 3 months of food at 2,000 calories per day, has a shelf life of up to 25 years, and all of this is packed into 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And they're also offering a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food supply gets destroyed by a natural disaster, they'll replace it for you with no charge. And they also will provide you with free survival books and information, including a natural disaster field guide, a survival Bible digital copy. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $100 off the NYPrepper Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And there's a fire raging at one of Russia's strategic bomber bases, the Engels Air Base. A couple of days ago, the Ukrainians launched drones 2 nights in a row at a fuel depot right outside of the Engels Air Base. And that fuel depot is still burning. And what's serious about this is that this fuel depot supplies fuel to the Russian bomber base there, okay, the Engels 2 Strategic Air Base. It's the 5th day that it's been burning, so I'm sure Putin's not happy about that. That would be like if somebody launched drones at some fuel depot that was supplying fuel to Barksdale Air Force Base or Whiteman Air Force Base. Okay, that's part of Russia's nuclear triad, that Strategic Air Base, okay? And Ukrainian special forces captured 2 North Korean soldiers as prisoners of war in Russia's Kursk Oblast, according to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. He said in a Telegram post that this task was not easy. Usually Russia and other North Korean military personnel finish off their wounded and do everything possible to ensure that no evidence of participation of another state in the war against Ukraine is preserved. The 2 wounded soldiers received necessary medical care and are in the custody of the Security Service of Ukraine in Kyiv, according to Zelensky. So, very interesting. And the South Korean intelligence service is saying that North Korean authorities are forcing deployed troops in Russia to commit suicide or self-detonate before being captured alive. Wow, that is absolutely insane. And we still have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert today. Okay, the 5th day in a row that we've seen nuclear forces here in the U.S. on high alert. What you're looking at here are 2 nuclear war command and control planes that were airborne this afternoon. These planes are responsible for communicating with our submerged nuclear-armed submarines, and they can remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs. And then there was also a third one that took off from California and went all the way to Oklahoma and got aerially refueled over Arkansas, which is really weird. And then it turned around and went back to California. What's weird is that they have these planes in Oklahoma, so why would they deploy one of these planes from California to fly all the way to Oklahoma, refuel, do a couple passes, and come back? What's interesting, though, is at the same time, there were also several recon planes here over Oklahoma, and they were looking towards the northern U.S., towards Canada, which means that there was some kind of a threat possibly coming from the North Pole. And tonight we have a U.S. Air Force reconnaissance plane off the coast of China near the Taiwan Strait. This is very rare to see, and this might be actually the first time I've seen a U.S. recon plane do this kind of a patrol here in the southern Taiwan Strait. You can see it's making this boomerang pattern, and these planes have side-looking radars. So when they're flying like this, they're actually looking perpendicular to the direction that they're flying. Okay, so you can see here that they're looking towards China, and then they're looking into the Taiwan Strait. They're keeping an eye on the Taiwan Strait and then on coastal China here. This is very, very concerning. It means that China may be planning something. And we also have massive reconnaissance right now tonight over South Korea. We have multiple South Korean and U.S. reconnaissance planes airborne patrolling the DMZ here. And then we also had a combat scent plane moved to Okinawa yesterday. The U.S. military only has 2 combat scent planes, and these planes provide intelligence directly to the president and our top generals. So if they move one of them somewhere, it means that something serious is going on in that area, and they just moved one to Okinawa. And then now today we have a recon plane patrolling the Taiwan Strait, so something's going on over here. And then we also had a sub-hunter yesterday just south of Taiwan, a P-8 Poseidon. We also had Putin's doomsday plane leave Moscow late last night and fly all the way to Siberia. It's hard to see where his plane actually landed. It looks like he turned his transponder off somewhere in between Omsk and Novosibirsk. Okay, so this is very strange. I don't know if he has any scheduled meetings there or not. Okay, but there are a lot of military bases here, ICBM bases, bunkers. Putin has all kinds of bunkers here in Siberia. So very concerning. We also have this U.S. Navy recon drone that was patrolling the coast of Iran yesterday and last night. They've been patrolling the Iranian coastline for the last few weeks on a regular basis, so something's brewing over here in Iran. And the Iranian army has begun air defense drills to protect their nuclear facilities in the Fordow and Kandab areas. Okay, Fordow is one of their largest nuclear missile sites besides the Natanz facility. Fordow is another enrichment site, and then they also have missiles there underneath the mountains. Okay, during the exercises, missile, radar, and electronic warfare units, air defense systems, as well as manned and unmanned aircraft will practice offensive and defensive missions. Wow. Okay, so Iran is still preparing to strike Israel possibly and fine-tuning their nuclear program. Okay, they're going to declare themselves a nuclear state soon unless the U.S. does something about it. And here we have video footage showing another crowded healthcare facility. Look at all these people sitting here with masks and IV bags. There's a massive outbreak of a variety of different kinds of viruses in China right now. And we know that 5 years ago today is when the COVID-19 pandemic started. Okay, so we're right at the 5-year anniversary. The Chinese New Year is coming up in the next couple of days, and Chinese people travel all over the place. Okay, so they could spread all these bugs everywhere. So we have to be on high alert. The Israeli Air Force carried out a massive wave of strikes on Lebanon today, targeting the Bekaa Valley border crossings and towns in southern Lebanon. And we know that Israel is in the process of building dozens of bases, or actually military outposts, not bases, but, you know, like forward operating bases and outposts along the border with Lebanon, and also with Syria as well on Mount Hermon. They're going to stay indefinitely, and also in southern Lebanon. Okay, so actually in Lebanon, on Lebanese territory, is where they're building these forward operating bases and outposts. So this is basically like a soft occupation. And Ukrainian drones are reported to have struck the Teniko oil refinery in Tatarstan, Russia. The refinery is located more than 1,000 kilometers away from the war zone. Okay, so 600 miles. The Ukrainians sent drones to take out this Russian oil refinery. And Trump is reportedly urging Zelensky to lower Ukraine's conscription age to 18. And the Norwegian Institute of Public Health is stepping up its preparedness against bird flu and has secured an option for 11 million vaccines in the event of a pandemic. So that doesn't sound like much, but for Norway, 11 million is a lot. They don't have that many people. They only have a few million people, so 11 million is like 2 vaccines for every person. Okay, so that's quite a bit. So Norway is stocking up on bird flu vaccines. Okay, we've already had several H5N1 bird flu cases here in the U.S., okay, and the bird flu is very deadly and very contagious. And a burglary suspect was arrested inside the Palisades fire zone in L.A. Saturday while dressed as a firefighter. So far, 29 people have been arrested for looting in the evacuated areas of L.A. County. Wow, okay, so here you can see the dark side of humanity coming out in these catastrophic situations. Okay, this is why we prepare, okay, because of people like that. And 2 arrests were made for curfew violations early Saturday in the Palisades fire evacuation zone in Brentwood near the home of Vice President Kamala Harris. Maybe they were trying to break in or something. And here we have video footage of National Guard troops in California being deployed to LA. Okay, so this has the makings of another New Orleans Hurricane Katrina type of situation. Okay, they're moving in the National Guard. The next thing they're going to do is force people to give up their firearms, which in California, nobody really owns guns anymore anyway because everything is illegal. It's impossible to get guns, but whatever's left, they're going to try to take them if this fire continues to rage on. Okay, and I've already showed you guys the pictures of the military police brigade that was deployed to LA. Okay, here we have the California National Guard manning checkpoints. Here you can see fire trucks coming through. Okay, so this reminds me of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Okay, it starts with these little checkpoints, and then it turns into confiscation of weapons and property and all kinds of stuff. Okay, martial law, suspension of the Constitution. Okay, when martial law is declared, the Constitution is literally suspended. You have no rights. Okay, look at this MRAP here, massive MRAP. Okay, why do you need this kind of MRAP to deal with looters? Okay, that are just breaking into homes to take, jewelry or TVs or minor items. You don't need MRAPs to deal with situations like that. So this is very, very concerning, guys. Very concerning. Looks like they're handing out some food and supplies here. Okay, so just want to show you the latest situation there on the ground in LA. We're hearing that 16 people have been confirmed dead so far since the fire started, according to the LA Medical Examiner. 11 from the Eaton fire and 5 from the Palisades fire. Okay, so very, very crazy situation there. Here we have some footage of these California Department of Forestry planes, I believe they are, dropping fire retardant on this one area. You can see they basically fly one behind the other, and they try to drop as much fire retardant in one area as they can, and they're trying to basically make a fire break you know, by dropping all this fire retardant in one spot. They're making sort of like a giant area where fire cannot spread any further. They're trying to contain the fire, okay? But with a fire this large, it's not an easy task, okay? You know, as you can see, even this entire airplane full of fire retardant is like a drop in a bucket, okay? I mean, it definitely helps, but it's not a miracle, you know? It's not going to stop the fire. So here we have some more footage coming from Mandeville Canyon. This is a new area that was evacuated. Okay, this is up like north of Bel Air. If you remember Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the TV show, the Mandeville Canyon is just to the north of that. Okay, further in the hills. But look at that, guys. It looks like a volcano. The relative humidities are like 10 to 15% over there. There's critical fire weather through Wednesday, okay? So over the next couple days, the conditions are definitely going to be conducive for more spreading of this fire, okay? Here we have some video footage of helicopters dropping water on the fire, and what they've been doing is these helicopters will fly in these loops, and we were tracking this on the 24/7 live stream. They fly to the Encino Reservoir, they load up with water somehow, then they fly and drop the water, they turn around, go back to the Encino Reservoir, fill up again, drop the water, and they just keep doing that over and over and over. And it's much faster for them to do that, and they can get a lot more effect on the fire with these helicopters dropping water than one of those C-130s with fire retardant, because once the C-130 drops its fire retardant, it's got to land at an airport, it's got to, you know, be refilled, and it takes a lot longer than a helicopter just flying a couple miles away to a body of water, filling up, dropping the water, and going back and forth, because the Encino Reservoir is just a few miles from where these fires are. So they've been deploying these helicopters to try to put the fires out. And then here we have some footage of some vloggers, I guess. They were driving through some affected areas here in, I believe this was the Hollywood Hills area. And they were driving on dirt bikes, okay? And searching the area, seeing if anybody needed help. But look at this, guys. This is like something out of a movie, okay? This is like unbelievable what's going on here. I mean, look at that. It just doesn't even look real. I can't believe it. And then here's the flight tracker showing how these helicopters are flying from the fire to the Encino Reservoir, and they keep doing these loops. But what you'll notice is that these helicopters are focusing their efforts over here in the northern part of the Santa Monica Mountains, okay? So initially the fire started closer to the ocean, down by Malibu and down by Santa Monica, and now the fire is spreading more north, okay? So you can see where the fire is based on where these helicopters are flying. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back with another update. Make sure you check out my 24/7 live stream to monitor the U.S. nuclear forces. I do believe that something big is about to go down before Trump gets inaugurated. Remember that Russia closed their airspace over the next week over Kapustin Yar, which is the missile launch site where Russia launched the first ICBM at Ukraine. So the airspace over that facility is closed down for the next week. Okay, and so that's clearly a sign that Putin wants to get in one more strike with the Oreshnik, possibly on Zelensky or some decision-making centers before Trump takes office. Okay, and then we have Poland and Germany preparing for war, all this NATO equipment moving around in Poland. We have a Russian mercenary, okay, member of the Wagner group, getting arrested at the southern border. Things are spiraling out of control. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.